Greetings to all. The last two videos we finished real numbers, and today we are going to start with polynomials, second chapter. Now polynomials, the term polynomials says that expressions with many terms, but the actual definition of polynomial is little different. Any algebraic expression in which the powers of the variables are 0 or any positive integer is considered as a polynomial. So condition is the powers of the variables should be 0 or any positive integer, then it is considered as a polynomial. Say 3x plus 5 is a polynomial because highest the power of the variable is 1 only. Say x square plus 5x plus 4, it is a polynomial because the power of the variables are 2, 1 and 0, because 4 is same as 4x raised to 0. Then 3x cube plus 4x square plus 5 is a polynomial. Powers of the variables are positive integers or 0. See, even root 2x plus 5 is a polynomial because again the power of the variable is 1 or 0 only. So an algebraic expression is a polynomial if the powers of the variables are 0 or any positive integer. Now in this, see, x plus 1 by x is not a polynomial because it is same as x plus x raised to minus 1. So it is not considered as a polynomial. Similarly, root x plus 5 is not considered as a polynomial. This because root x plus 5 is x raised to 1 upon 2 plus 5. So power is fraction. So it is not considered as a polynomial. Now degree of a polynomial. All these things you have learned in 9th. Degree of a polynomial is highest power of the variable. Now say for example this is a polynomial and the highest power of the variable is 1. So degree is 1. Then here in this case the highest power of the variable is 2. So degree is 2. In this case highest power of the variable is 3, etc. Now x raised to 4 plus 5, highest power is 4. So degree is 4. Now polynomials with degree 1, 2 and 3 are given special name. Degree 1 is called linear polynomial, degree 2 quadratic polynomial and degree 3 cubic polynomial. So special name is given to polynomial with degree 1. First of all, degree is the highest power of the variable, and if the highest power of the variable is 1, it is called linear polynomial. If the highest power is 2, quadratic polynomial. Highest power is 3, cubic polynomial. There is no special name for polynomials with degree 4, 5, etc. So till degree 1, 2 and 3 are given special names. Now again, value of a polynomial. If the value of the variable is given, we can find the value of the polynomial. Say for example, in this case, suppose it is given x is equal to 2. You find the value of the polynomial. So we will substitute. If you want, we can name the polynomial. Let p of x is equal to 3x plus 5. Now p of 2 we have to find out. So 3 into 2 plus 5. So 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. So we say the value of the polynomial for x is equal to 2 is 11. So like this we can find the value of a polynomial. Now next one is 0 of a polynomial. Now if a value of the variable is given and when we substitute that value in the polynomial, if we get 0, we call it a 0 of the polynomial. So that value is called a 0 of the polynomial. Say for example, in this case, we can find in the case of linear polynomials, we can find the 0 by equating it to, say, 3x plus 5 is equal to 0, because this is a condition. So we'll take 5 to the other side. 3x is equal to minus 5, x is equal to minus 5 upon 3. So this is the 0 of the polynomial. Now, that means if we substitute minus 5 upon 3 in the place of x in this one, you will get 0 only. So 3 into minus 5 upon 3 plus 5. 3 and 3 gets cancelled, minus 5 plus 5 is equal to 0. So minus 5 upon 3 is a 0 of the polynomial. So first of all, an algebraic expression is a polynomial if the powers of the variables are positive integers or 0. Then degree of a polynomial, it is the highest power of the variable. If the degree is 1, it is called linear polynomial. Degree 2, quadratic. Degree 3, cubic, and so on. Now, value of a polynomial. If the value of the variable is given, we can find the value of the polynomial. You have to substitute in the place of variable given value, you will get a value, that is the value of the polynomial. Next one, 0 of a polynomial. It is the value of the variable for which the polynomial is 0. Say for example, in this case 3x plus 5, when we substitute in the place of x minus 5 upon 3, we get 0. So we can say minus 5 upon 3 is a 0 of the polynomial. Then I'll take one quadratic polynomial also, say x square plus 5x plus 6. The two zeros of this polynomial, say minus 2 and minus 3 are the two zeros of this polynomial. We can check, say let p of x is equal to x square plus 5x plus 6. Substitute these values, check whether, say p of minus 2 the whole square plus 5 into minus 2 plus 6. Remove only powers, 4 plus 5 into minus 2 plus 6. Multiplication, 4 minus 10 plus 6. 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. So minus 2 is a 0 of the polynomial. Now second one, p of minus 3 is equal to minus 3 the whole square plus 5 into minus 3 plus 6. This one is 9 plus 5 into minus 3 plus 6. Do only one operation in one step. Multiplication. 9 minus 15 plus 6. 15 minus 15 is equal to 0. So both this minus 2 and minus 3 are zeros of the polynomial. So 0 of a polynomial is that value of the variable for which the polynomial is 0. Now there are some relationship between zeros and certain other things. First one, relationship between zeros and graphical representation. Number of zeros and graphical representation. Now if graph is given, if the graph of a polynomial is given, from the graph we can find out the number of zeros. That is given in the first exercise. 2.1 exercise is based on that. Say the graph of a polynomial is given. Suppose it is given like this. Now if the number of zeros of a polynomial in x is equal to the number of points where the graph is intersecting the x-axis. This is y, this is x. Now, at how many points the graph is intersecting the x-axis, you have to see. Here the graph is intersecting at 2 points. So we say the number of zeros of this polynomial is 2. Now if the graph is representing, if the the graph representing a polynomial is intersecting x-axis at 3 points, then we say the number of zeros is equal to 3. Say here in this case 1, 2, 3. So 3 points the graph is intersecting x-axis. So the number of zeros is equal to 3. Now see, what is the number of zeros of this polynomial? Say the graph is going like this. The graph is not intersecting x-axis anywhere. So the number of zeros of this polynomial is equal to 0, or it has no zero. So that is also possible. A polynomial may not be having any zeros. So number of zeros of a polynomial in x is equal to the number of points where the graph is representing the x-axis. That is the first relationship. I'll say once again, the number of zeros of a polynomial whose graphical representation is given, we can directly we can find out. You count at how many points the graph is intersecting x-axis. That is the number of zeros. If the graph is intersecting at 2 points, then it has 2 zeros. If it is intersecting at 3 points, then it has 3 zeros, and so on. Now next one, relationship between degree and number of zeros. If a linear polynomial, so it means a polynomial with degree 1, it can have maximum 1 zero. Most probably it will be having a 0, and even if there is a 0, it can have maximum 1 zero only, not more than 1. Degree 2, it can have maximum 2 zeros. Degree 3, it can have maximum 3 zeros. Say quadratic polynomial, a polynomial with degree 2, it can have 2 zeros or 1 zero or no zero. Say for example, if it is, I'll tell you, see x square plus 7x plus 12. Here in this case it has 2 zeros. If you substitute minus 3 and minus 4, in both the cases you will get 0 only. It's because it is using the fourth identity you have learned. So the two numbers are 3 and 4. So when we factorize and find the zeros, you will get minus 3 and minus 4. So it has 2 zeros. Now if it is in the form x square plus 2x plus 1, this is in the form of the first identity, and when we factorize we will get x plus 1 the whole square, or x plus 1 into x plus 1, and equal to 0 means x is equal to minus 1. We'll come to this point again later. So in this case there is only 1 0. Now if it is x square plus 4, this polynomial, it is a quadratic polynomial, but it is not having any 0, because when we equate to 0 and simplify, x square plus 4 is equal to 0, x square is equal to minus 4. Now find a number whose square is minus 4. That is not possible. Square of any number, whether it is negative or positive, it is always positive only. Now x square should be minus 4. If we find the square of 2, we get 4. If we find the square of minus 2, again we will get 4. So there is no answer to this question. So there is no 0. So in short, what I wanted to say, the second property, I'll say the first property again. The number of zeros of a polynomial is equal to number of points where the graph is intersecting the x-axis. Second property, the relationship between degree of a polynomial and number of zeros. The number of zeros of a polynomial is equal to or less than the degree of the polynomial. If the polynomial is quadratic, means degree is 2, it can have maximum 2 zeros, maybe 2 zeros, 1 0 or no 0. All the three cases we discussed. Now we'll come to the third property. Now third property says the relationship between zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. Now what are these? See, standard form of a quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. This is standard form of a quadratic polynomial. Similarly, the standard form of a cubic polynomial is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, and it will go on like this. Now, standard form of a linear polynomial is ax plus b. It will go on increasing the number of alphabets as when the degree also increases. This is linear polynomial, standard form of a linear polynomial, standard form of a quadratic polynomial. Then standard ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. This is a standard form of a cubic polynomial. Now, there is a relationship between zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial, and again zeros and coefficients of a cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial we'll do later. Now we are going to do quadratic polynomial. So, now see what are these a, b and c. A is the coefficient means the number with square of the variable. Here numerical coefficient only. So coefficient of x square is a, coefficient of x is b, and numerical coefficient is c, independent. Now here the property says that if alpha and beta, again alpha and beta are the two zeros of this quadratic polynomial. Now why alpha and beta? Why can't it be x and y, a and b? Again there can be confusion because the polynomial is in x, and again we are assuming x and y as the zeros of the polynomial. Then you will get confused. Even I also will get confused. So we are using some Greek letters, alpha, beta, or in the case of cubic polynomial, we'll be using alpha, beta and gamma are as the zeros of the polynomial. So if, now let us come to the property. If alpha and beta are the two zeros of the quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c, then alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a, and alpha beta is equal to c upon a. If alpha and beta, very important property, if alpha and beta are the two zeros, again we are using alpha and beta to avoid confusion, because polynomial can be in x, polynomial can be in y. Again, if you assume x or y, a and b, there can be confusion. So we are using these Greek letters alpha and beta. Now if alpha and beta are the two zeros of the polynomial ax square plus bx plus c, then alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a, and alpha beta is equal to c upon a. Now see, alpha plus beta, what is alpha plus beta? The sum of the roots. When you add the roots, that will be equal to negative of coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. And product of the roots, alpha beta, is equal to the numerical coefficient upon coefficient of square of the variable. So that is a property. Now this will be clear when we solve questions. So see the property once again. Three properties we have learned. First one, relationship between number of zeros and graphical representation. The number of zeros of a polynomial is equal to, or polynomial in x is equal to, the number of points where the graph is intersecting x-axis. First one. Second one, relationship between degree and number of zeros. The number of zeros of a polynomial is equal or less than the degree of the polynomial. If the polynomial's degree is 4, it can have maximum 4 zeros and maybe no zeros also. It can be 4, 3, 2, 1 or no. Next one, relationship between zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. Now the standard form of a quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. Let alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial. Then alpha plus beta, the sum of the zeros, will be equal to negative of coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. And alpha beta, the product of the zeros is equal to the numerical coefficient upon coefficient of square of the variable. Now we'll verify this property. Here comes how to find the zeros of a quadratic polynomial. How to find out the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, we should know. Now we have learned 11 identities in class 9. Out of that, first it can be in the form of first 4 identities. It can be in the form of first 4 identities, or it can be first 4 identities and the fourth identity also. There are 2 cases. So we'll take one by one case. Say first one we already discussed, say x square plus 2x plus 1. Now it is in the form of the first identity. So condition is first we'll factorize. This should be equal to 0. Now we'll check this. This is x the whole square plus 2 into x into 1 plus 1 the whole square. So it is in the form a square plus 2ab plus b square. So, and that is equal to a plus b the whole square. So a x plus 1 the whole square is equal to 0, or x plus 1 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now product of 2 things is equal to 0 means at least one should be 0. Then only the product of 2 things can be 0. So if x plus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 1. Similarly, in the second one also, x is equal to minus 1. So there is only one 0, that is minus 1. Like this we can find out. Now we can verify the property also. That I will come later. Let us discuss the different ways to find the 0. First one is using first identity, and now using the second identity. Suppose instead of this 2x, if it is minus 2x, then suppose this one is minus 2x. What is the factorization? This is x the whole square minus this is 1 the whole square, then 2 into x into 1. So it is x minus 1 the whole square by using second identity. Is equal to 0. That means x minus 1 into x minus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, or x is equal to 1. So there is only one 0. If x minus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. Remember that this into this is equal to 0 means either this should be 0 or this should be 0. If this is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. If this is equal to 0, again x is equal to 1. So the 0 is only 1. Now third case, suppose it is x square minus 4 using fourth identity. So here in this case directly you can take to the other side, or you can factorize. X square is equal to 4. This is equal to 0. So x square is equal to 4. X is equal to root 4. Here please don't make any mistake. Square root of any number is plus or minus. So plus or minus 2. So two answers are there. When you find out, when you multiply 2 by 2, we get 4. Again, when we multiply minus 2 by minus 2, again we get 4. So normally you make mistake in this one. So please be careful whenever we find square root of a number, plus or minus. If it is square root of 3, instead of, suppose it is x square minus 3, x square is equal to 3, x is equal to root 3. There itself you will put plus or minus. So two answers are plus root 3 and minus root 3. Here in this case, since it is a perfect square, we can find out. So plus or minus 2. So the two zeros are 2 and minus 2. Now we will assume let alpha is equal to 2 and beta is equal to minus 2. You can verify. That will do. Now fourth case. In the fourth case, say x square plus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. Now we have to use the fourth identity, that is x square plus a plus b into x plus ab. So we have to find two numbers, a plus b is equal to 7, a into b is equal to 12. You can find out the factors of 12, then you will get an idea what are the numbers. In this case it is very simple. This is when we multiply 3 and 4 we get 12, and 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. You can show the factorization, or in this case, when here also there are, I told you there are two cases. When the coefficient of square of the variable is 1, we can write the answer even directly. But if it is any other number, then you have to do factorization, then only you will get the answer. So x square plus 7x plus 12. So the numbers, here I am going to do splitting the middle term. Otherwise you can write the answer directly also, you have learned later. See, you have learned in class 9 how to factorize these cases. So, but let us do 3x plus 4x plus 12 is equal to 0. Now, from first two terms I am taking out x into x plus 3 plus 4 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. If your factorization is correct, always inside the bracket left will be same only. Now I am taking x plus 3 common, x plus 3 into x plus 4, which is equal to 0. Now if x plus 3 is equal to 3, if x plus 3 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 3, and if x plus 4 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 4. So the two zeros are minus 3 and minus 4. Now this you can write directly. See, you are in 10th class, so you should know how to write directly. See, I'll tell you. See, since 3 and 4 are the numbers, the factorization will be x plus 3 into x plus 4 is equal to 0. And x is equal to minus 3, x is equal to minus 4. I'll take another case. Say x square plus 11x plus 30. What are the numbers? Numbers are 6 and 5. So when you factorize, you will get x plus 6 into x plus 5 is equal to 0. That means x is equal to minus 6. Why 0? That is a condition. The polynomial should be 0. So x is equal to minus 6 or x is equal to minus 5. Let us take one negative number also. X square minus x minus 30. In this case also you can write the answer directly. Find the numbers. Find two numbers. When you add, you should get minus 1, and when you multiply, you should get minus 30. That they are minus 6 into 5 is equal to minus 30, and minus 6 plus 5 is equal to minus 1. So the numbers are minus 6 and 5. So factorization is x minus 6 into x plus 5. Like this you can factorize. And now if x minus 6 is equal to 0, x is equal to 6, and if x plus 5 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 5. So you will get zeros of the polynomial. Now the last case is a quadratic polynomial in the form of fourth identity. Fourth identity we have already explained, in that if the coefficient of square of the variable is not equal to 1. So for example, 3x square minus x minus 2. Earlier we did these type of expressions in which the coefficient of square of the variable is 1. But here coefficient of the square of the variable is 3. So again we'll use splitting the middle term, but in this case you cannot write the answer directly. You have to do actual splitting the middle term and find the answers, because answer can be in fraction also. So what you have to do is, you have to find two numbers. A plus b is equal to coefficient of the middle term, that is minus 1, and a into b should be product of coefficient of square of the variable and the last term, that is minus 6. Last case we did not multiply because the coefficient of square of the variable was 1 in every case, but in this case here it is 3. So sum will remain the same, coefficient of x, but the product is product of coefficient of square of the variable and the last term. So a plus b is equal to minus 1 and a into b is equal to minus 6. You have to find two numbers. Then now we'll find, say the numbers are minus 3 and 2, because minus 3 plus 2 is equal to minus 1 and minus 3 into 2 is equal to minus 6. So we'll split the middle term. See, 3x square minus 3x plus 2x minus 2. From the first two terms, take common. 3x is common. 3x into x minus 1 plus, in these two, 2 is common. 2 into x minus 1. Now x minus 1 is common. X minus 1 into 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we have to find the 0. So this should be equal to 0. From this, if x minus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. And if 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, 3x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to minus 2 upon 3. So the two zeros are x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 2 upon 3. See, once again question is find the zeros of this polynomial and verify the relationship between zeros and coefficients. We are going to verify in this case. So 3x square minus x minus 2. Find two numbers, their product is 3 into minus 2, that is minus 6, and sum is again coefficient of middle term, that is minus 1. Now the numbers are minus 3 and 2. We split the middle term. We get the answer x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 2 upon 3. Now we will verify the relationship. The zeros are 1 and minus 2 upon 3. Now for this question, we are going to verify what is the relationship. If alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial in the form ax square plus bx plus c, then alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a and alpha beta is equal to c upon a. So we are going to assume let alpha is equal to anyone, let alpha is equal to 1 and beta is equal to minus 2 upon 3. Then alpha plus beta, 1 plus minus 2 upon 3 upon 1, LCM 3 plus minus 2 is equal to, here alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a minus b minus 1 upon a 3. So 1 upon 3, again 3 minus 2, 1 upon 3 is equal to 1 upon 3. So this one is verified. Now second one, alpha beta is equal to c upon a. Alpha 1 into minus 2 upon 3 is equal to c upon a minus 2 upon 3. Minus 2 upon 3 is equal to minus 2 upon 3, hence verified. In every quadratic polynomial, after finding the zeros, you can verify this one. It's a very important question. For any quadratic polynomial, if alpha and beta are the zeros, then alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a and alpha beta is equal to c upon a. Like this, we can verify. Now last one more topic. Now if the zeros are given, if the zeros of a quadratic polynomial are given, how will you find out the quadratic polynomial? We can find, if the zeros are given, we can find the quadratic polynomial. Suppose alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial. Then find the quadratic polynomial. So if alpha and beta are the zeros, then it should be in the form x minus alpha into x minus beta is equal to 0. Then only you will get, when x minus alpha is equal to 0, x is equal to alpha, and when x minus beta is equal to 0, we get x is equal to beta. So if alpha and beta are the zeros of a polynomial, quadratic polynomial, then the polynomial is x minus alpha into x minus beta. Like this you can use, or we can using fourth identity you can expand it, x square of the first term plus sum of the numbers, both are negative, so it will become minus alpha plus beta into x plus product of the numbers, minus into minus plus alpha beta. So using fourth identity, when we open the bracket we get x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. Either you can use this or you can use this, or in words we can write the formula x square minus sum of zeros into x plus product of zeros. So this is the formula for finding a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are given or sum and product of the zeros are given. So x square minus sum of the zeros into x, see, x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. So for example, minus 4 and 3 are the sum and product of the zeros. Sum and product of the zeros of a quadratic polynomial. Find the quadratic polynomial. So we'll put in this formula, x square minus sum of the zeros. This is sum is this, and product is equal to this one. So x square, first we'll write the formula, x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. So x square minus sum, bracket open, minus 4 into x plus product of the zeros 3. So x square plus 4x plus 3. So the quadratic polynomial whose sum and product of the zeros are minus 4 and 3 is x square plus 4x plus 3. But final answer when we write, we'll write k into x square plus 4x plus 3. Now what is the reason? The reason is if we multiply x square plus 4x plus 3 by any real number, the zeros will remain the same and the sum and product of the zeros will remain the same. So if you are writing x square plus 4x plus 3, you are writing only one answer, but there are infinite answers. If you multiply this polynomial throughout by 2, 3, 4 or root 2, root 3, in every case the sum and product of the zeros will remain the same, minus 4 and 3. It will not change. So at the end, when we write the final answer, we will write k into x square plus 4x plus 3, where k is any real number. Where k is any real number. See, last point I will tell you once again. Question is find a quadratic polynomial whose sum and product of the zeros are minus 4 and 3. Now the formula is x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. When we substitute, we get x square plus 4x plus 3. Now suppose I am multiplying this throughout by 2. 2x square plus 8x plus 6. Sum and product of the zeros will remain the same, minus 4 and 3. If I am multiplying by 10, 10x square plus 40x plus 30. Sum and product of the zeros will remain the same, minus 4 and 3. So if you are writing only x square plus 4x plus 3, you are writing only one answer. And there are infinite answers. So finally we will write k into x square plus 4x plus 3, where k is any real number. I hope this first two exercise is clear. Now you will try at the end, maybe in the next class we will discuss the questions from the exercise for the time being, because first you will try on your own, and if you have a problem then we will discuss. Otherwise also we will discuss each and every question in the exercise later. So first try. So these are the properties. Now we will continue in the next class. All the best. Take care.